Hello, good evening, and welcome to another edition, special edition of Eye on Port, coming to you once again live from the studios of Metro Television. This program is proudly brought to you by Ghana Oil Company Limited, West Blue Consulting, Ghana Revenue Authority, and also Ghana Community Network Services, that is GCNet. The proud media partner for this program is the Business and Financial Times. And folks, today we're going to talk security. We are continuing security at the port, but we are moving to other agencies, and I'm privileged to have in the studio the man who is in charge of national security at the port. That's Sub-Lieutenant Christian Kofi Tete. He's a National Security Liaison Officer at the Tema Port. Good to see you, Mr. Tete.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you around. And also Colonel Joseph Malik Punamani is the Port Security Manager himself, the man who has been arresting those stowaway folks around the port. Colonel, pleasure to have you in the studio today.
Thank you very much.
So we're going to deal with security. We'll talk about almost all the issues around security at the port. So if you have encountered anything positive or otherwise and you want to share with us, you're allowed to do so. We will have the numbers shared on your screens. The WhatsApp numbers will be there. The phone call numbers will also be there, and you can call after the second break in the program. That should be around 6:45 thereabout. In the meantime, there are a few things happening around the port and maritime industry. We will share with you when we come back serious discussions within the port and maritime industry. Now in Takoradi, they've held the Environmental Day over there. Also, the World Oceans Day is being marked by women in maritime. And then the Tema Fishing Harbour, in collaboration with the Environmental Protection Agency, have also held a cleanup exercise as part of the Oceans Day celebrations. Take a listen.
Pollution of the environment has become a growing concern globally, leading to several efforts to addressing the canker. Within the ports, harbors and maritime sector, an emergent threatening development is marine pollution, which is the introduction of substances or energy from humans into the marine environment, resulting in poisonous effects, including harm to living habitats of the sea, hazards to human health, and hindrance to marine activities. On the back of this trend, the Port of Takoradi has held a ceremony to mark this year's World Environment Day with a call on all port users to make efforts to stop the pollution of the marine atmosphere. Engineer George Ewua, a Principal Programs Officer at the Environmental Protection Agency, called on Ghanaians to improve the environment in which they live.
Air pollution has become an emerging cause of human health problems.
Management of the Port of Takoradi vouched their dedication to promoting a good environment for port users by creating the necessary awareness and putting the right measures in place.
This has serious implications on our health. Air is what we take in every day.
It's about individual commitment. What can we do as individuals to improve the environment?
Takoradi Port, which is ISO certified, is considered to be one of the very best environmentally friendly ports in the sub-region. It is reported that even as close as very operational areas of the port, one can find healthy fingerlings in the sea, multiplying and enjoying growth. Women in Maritime Africa Ghana chapter, which is the local chapter of Women in Maritime Africa, is collaborating with the Ministry of Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Gender and Children, and Transport to share best practices on how to sustainably harness the Volta Lake's resources for economic empowerment. Perpetual Oseibunsu, the legal advisor to WEMA Ghana, said, as an empowerment group, WEMA Ghana is aligning itself with this year's World Ocean Day to maximize the resources of the Volta Lake for women's empowerment. She said, WEMA Ghana believes the Volta Lake is an essential resource not only to the Ghanaian economy, but also to the people whose livelihood is dependent on it.
We went further up to the lake, to our own Volta Lake, which plays such a pivotal role in the economy of this country. And you know that the Volta Lake is also a source of livelihood for a whole number of women. We have women, you know, once you get to the Adomi Bridge, you see how they clamor to you. In their numbers, you can see that these young women really are fighting for their livelihood.
Alice Tokonu, Vice President of the Women in Maritime Ghana and the former General Manager for Business Development, GPHA, revealed that the association's Africa Network has an MOU with the African Union to forge the concept of the blue economy, which is at the heart of the AU's Africa Integrated Maritime Strategy, which should be accomplished by the year 2050.
The idea is to ensure that the use of the ocean resources and the resources of the water bodies are maximized. And because women are at the center of the exploitation and development of these resources, mostly talk about fishing, talk about aquaculture.
She said there is also the need for professional women in the maritime sector to share ideas so as to move the industry forward and fight against poverty. Women Ghana says it will be celebrating this year's World Oceans Day at Akwamufie in the Swojaman district to improve the lives of women involved in the fishing industry along the Volta Lake. The Environmental Protection Agency, in conjunction with the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, has embarked on a thorough cleanup exercise of the beachfront within the Fishing Harbour Enclave in Tema to mark the World Ocean Day. World Ocean Day is a global celebration where hundreds of events around the world are organized to celebrate the ocean, all that it represents, and a renewed effort in protecting it. At the EPA-GPHA organized cleanup exercise, stakeholders of the Tema Fishing Harbour, including fishermen and traders, as well as indigents of the Tema Newtown fishing community, assembled to partake in the volunteer event. The acting executive director of the Environmental Protection Agency, John Puaman, said special focus was given to plastics, which have been a menace to the conservation of a healthy environment.
And we have been, removing a lot of the plastic waste that we see that the ocean, the water, the waves are bringing, and we are putting them inside the skips that have been provided by Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority.
The acting EPA boss advocated for the sanctioning of carrier plastic bags, which are not biodegradable and yet form the majority of the plastic waste that bedevils our environment, both land and sea. Marketing and Public Affairs Manager for the Tema Fishing Harbour, Joanna Ada, educated the indigents to take up an attitude of conscientiousness towards the discharge of refuse and the conservation of a healthy environment.
Cleanliness of the environment is a shared responsibility, and it is more of attitude now. So we will need to sensitize our people for them to understand, because we've been doing that over and over and over, but we are not seeing any improvement.
The elders of the fishing community lamented the inadequate supply of proper refuse dumps, but they assured of their commitment to ensure that their fellow indigents comply with measures to do away with the wrongful discharge of refuse.
So, as part of the World Oceans Day, we'll be following keenly the activities of in particular, the women in maritime Ghana. We'll be following their activities because a lot of activities are lined up, and as you may have heard from Mrs. Alice Tokonu as well as Madame Perpetual Osebunzu, there are a lot of activities lined up for the Oceans Day, and we will be following all of that. But, most, Kenel and maybe Mr. Tete, this week has been very heavy for some two particular institutions that are also sponsors of our program. I'm talking about Ghana or GOIL Company Limited, as well as the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, or the Ghana Revenue Authority in general. Now, those two institutions have had changes at their top management. Start with the Ghana Revenue Authority, and then the MD of GOIL has finally said bye-bye and handed over to another MD.
The government of Ghana has made 3 new appointments at the top management level of the Ghana Revenue Authority. The appointments are Mr. Amishadai Owusu-Amua, Acting Commissioner for Domestic Tax Revenue Division, Kenel Kwejo Damwa, Retired, Acting Commissioner Customs Division, and Ms. Julie Esiam, Acting Commissioner Support Services Division. A statement issued by the Ministry of Finance said the 3 have been appointed in line with the new changes being made at the authority aimed at mobilizing revenue. In line with that, the new appointees are expected to drive a number of critical transformational changes, including modernizing and digitizing tax processes and systems, as well as increase the quality of taxpayer services. According to the Ministry of Finance statement, further changes are expected to be made to retool Ghana Revenue Authority for the critical task of mobilizing revenue to finance improvements in the lives of Ghanaians. Seasoned private legal practitioner Kwame Osei Prempeh has been appointed as the acting managing director and group chief executive officer of GOIL Company Limited. The appointment by the board of directors of GOIL took effect from June 3, as announced by the public relations manager of GOIL Company Limited, Robert Chere. Kwame Osei Prempeh has been a board member of GOIL since 2017. He takes over from Patrick Akoli, who has taken his leave prior to retirement after 23 years of service to GOIL and about 8 years as chief executive. Kwame Osei Prempeh has a wealth of experience in public service and in private practice as a senior legal practitioner. He served as Ghana's Deputy Attorney General and Minister of Justice from June 2006 to January 2009 and was a member of parliament for Nsuta Kwamine Beposo in the Ashanti region between 1997 and 2013.
So we say congratulations to all those men and women who have served and those who are also coming to serve. And in a couple of weeks from now, you'll be seeing us profiling some of those who are exiting as well as those who are coming in, and we'll be having them right here in the studio. We say also welcome to our own uncle, Mr. Kwame Osei Prempeh, who is taking over GOIL. We wish you well, sir. And then a big congratulations to Mr. Patrick Akoli also for serving country and doing that honorably. When we return from the break, we'll be talking security in the port and in the studio already. The security men, they still have their positions. They are waiting. We'll be back after the break.
Here's innovation from GOIL that takes you further. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and GOIL has innovated to stay ahead. Expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further. GOIL. Good energy.
Dear valued client, the Ghana Trade Hub mobile app is now live to make it easy to track your consignment and know the estimated duty payable for both general goods and used vehicles. We are pleased to inform you that the Ghana Trade Hub mobile app is available for download on Google Play Store for Android users and the App Store for Apple users. This is the best opportunity for all importers and exporters to know the duty payable on every good under transaction. You can reach the team for inquiries and support by calling +233 242 435 663. Send an email to support@ghanastradinghub.com. To remain updated, kindly follow progress on the following platforms: www.facebook.com/Ghana Trade Hub, www.twitter.com/Ghana Trade Hub, and ghlinkedin.com/in/Ghana Trade Hub. Importers and exporters can download the official Ghana Single Window mobile app, which allows you to track your consignment conveniently and also allows you to obtain your estimated duty for general goods and used vehicles. Please spread the message to everyone importing or exporting. The Ghana Trading Hub mobile app is now live. Download and never be cheated. This is powered by the Smart Ports project under the auspices of the Government of Ghana and the Ghana Revenue Authority. Smart Port, improving Ghana's ease of doing business.
Welcome back to Eye on Port, and in the studio we have Sub-Lieutenant Christian Kofi Tete, the National Security Liaison at the Port of Tema, and also Colonel Joseph Malik Punamani. He is the Port Security Manager. Gentlemen, good to have you once again.
Thank you.
Colonel, maybe I'll start off with you because you are in uniform today. And you are in military uniform for that matter. What's the port security's mission in the port? What do you do? Who are you there? Are you all military folks? And why you are a military fellow?
First of all, I would like to say that the port is a national asset and it's dear to the country. The security of the port is very essential. And a lot of stakeholders are involved to protect the port.
Okay.
It involves other security agencies. So that my purpose there is to coordinate activities of all these security agencies to make sure that we have a very safe port.
Okay.
And aside that, I also, as part of GPHA, provide overall coordination and advice management on security issues.
Okay. So aside coordinating with your fellow security men over there, personnel over there, you also advise the Ports and Harbors Authority on security issues.
Yes.
And so are all your folks military folks? Do you have people? How many are they? Do you have officers who work for you? Are they the people you call the port security men, for instance?
For the port security itself, GPHA has, when I say GPHA, I mean Ghana
Ports and Harbors Authority,
has trained a lot of staff to do security duties.
Okay.
And they were properly trained by the military at the Armed Forces Recruitment Center.
Okay. All the port security personnel?
Yes.
You subject them to military training?
Yes. Good. They are subjected to military training, less weapon training. So they are very professional.
Okay. Okay. And they are supposed to assist you do what?
Well, to ensure that the port is safe. You know, the International Maritime Organization is an organization that is coordinating shipping and safety of ships. And this includes the ISPS, International Ship and Facility Security Code. And in doing so, we have to keep the port safe because the port is one of the major entrances into the country.
Yeah.
And people can use that place also to
get into the country or get out.
Others. So by so doing, we control access.
Okay.
Access control. My people do that. We make sure that people who board ships are recognized people they are authorized to
board ships.
To board ship.
So people who are not authorized, they don't have any business to do in the ship, do not have to be there.
Yes.
And you control that.
We control that. If you don't even have any business to do in the port, we deny you entry to the port.
Okay, I see. So what are often some of the crimes or some of the happenings around the port or the challenges that you encounter? Have you been busy?
Yeah, very busy because you administer the security personnel with their numerous challenges, welfare activities, then making sure that unauthorized people don't enter the port. So I see myself signing passes, we do vetting to make sure that proper persons enter the port.
Okay, people who are authorized get through to the port. Aside that, are you engaged in basic and ordinary criminal issues like theft and so on and so forth?
Yeah.
Do they come to your outfit?
We encounter those things. People trying to open containers and steal from them.
I see.
Yes. People trying to traffic weapon, unauthorized weapon. We encounter that. Narcotics, but all institutions are there to manage all this.
Okay.
But we are watching, and when we get such people, we arrest them and hand them over to the appropriate authority.
Okay, so if I understand you clearly, you are almost the frontline person when it comes to security around the port. When you identify any of these things, then you work or liaise with the other security agencies around to deal with them.
That's it. If we identify any threat, we are not armed. We have the police there, they are armed. We have the Navy, we have the National Security who are also supporting us very well. So we are all working together to make sure that we have a safe port.
Okay, but your people are not armed?
They are not armed, but they are very effective.
Okay, and then the other thing is if you can share with us some of the security do's and don'ts within the port. Are there things that people are not required to do? For instance, you talk about people who are not authorized. What are some of the other things that if you're not
Well, if you enter the port, that is if you have the permission to enter the port, there are a lot of do's and don'ts. You know, there's oil, like petroleum activity, so smoking is forbidden. Swimming in the sea or the water is
also forbidden.
Is forbidden. You don't put on earphones because of movement of heavy equipment or vehicles. You may not hear, and it may crash you.
Yeah.
We have a lot of do's and don'ts that.
And how do the public get to know some of these things so that they stay away from them even before they get into the port?
We have a lot of synergies at the entrance.
Okay.
Then national service, or people who will be working there with us, we orientate them. We give them security and safety brief before they start operating in the port.
Okay. I'll hold on to you, and then when I come back again, I would want to see how best you interface with the ordinary customer who comes to the port on daily basis. At what point do they come into contact with you? But Mr. Tete, what about the national security? If the police is in the port, the port security is also there, the marine police is there, customs is there. National security, what are your duties in there?
We take part in examination of goods.
Okay.
That's
examination of goods?
Yes.
Okay.
That is when they open their containers.
Yeah.
We take part. We are the 3 agencies that take part in the examination.
Sorry, how many agencies?
3.
Excuse me.
FDA, Customs, and National Security.
I thought we had GSA as well, Ghana.
Now they've ceded it to FDA. I sounds to be corrected.
Okay.
Yes.
Means that from the information you have, it's supposed to be only Food and Drugs Authority, National Security, and then Customs.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
That's new because I think, and just so few viewers don't get confused on this, because just 2 weeks ago we had FDA and GSA here, and the inspection was one of their key mandates anyway.
Okay. Yes, and then the port is a facility which is dear to the economy of Ghana, and I understand that it provides about 80% of revenue for GRA.
Yeah.
And so national security, we provide a lot of intelligence by making sure that agents don't under-declare their goods. Now, when I talk about under-declaration, if he brings 1,000 bags of rice, he will declare 500, and we will run away with the duty. Then misdescription.
Let me get that again. Let's get that one clear.
Okay.
You said people under-declare.
Yes.
When somebody is expected to say that I brought 20, they say I brought 10.
Yes.
And you are expected to check that.
Yes.
National security.
Yes, it's our mandate. And we do it through intelligence.
I see. Finish with it and I'll ask you how.
Yes. Then misdescription of goods. If the person brings, say, new shoes, he will write second-hand shoes, or fresh materials, he will write used clothing. And then we also check contraband goods, like these illicit drugs, and then arms and ammunition. Yes.
Okay.
So we complement the effort of other agencies in the port to do this.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, in our line of duty, we have what we call port community. Freight forwarders, importers, stevedores, customs, GAPOHA, agents who clear the goods, GIS, that's Ghana Immigration and Food and Drugs Board, Standard Board. We work with them.
Okay.
If we should get somebody involved in these infractions I've said, we hand them over to the police for further investigation and then prosecution.
Okay, but how are your people identified? Are you in uniform? I know the port securities, they are in uniform. Do you have any specifications that I should be able to tell a national security fellow from other agencies, or you're not?
Like I said, we collect a lot of information and then we decipher and get intelligence.
Okay.
So if you are in uniform, people will recognize you.
Okay.
And we use informants a lot.
I see.
Yes. And so in the port there, we have a lot of informants who bring information on daily basis for us to decipher, like I said, and we get intelligence. Not every information will give you the right intelligence. So you need to sit down and look at the language or the way the information is crafted before you can go and act.
Okay, so it means that your people are not really supposed to be noticed. They are not really supposed to be seen because you are undercover to gather information.
Yeah, but because of their stay there, some people will know them.
Okay.
Yeah, people will know them.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, once a person.
But they are not supposed to share too much information with people.
Okay.
All those things come to my office and then we work on them.
It means that you don't even expect the port users to know that that fellow is a national security or that fellow is not.
But you interact with them.
Yeah.
So definitely they will know you. But you don't go shouting at the top of your voice that you understand security.
I'm asking this because it's become some sort of concern that any person with, and often your fellows, they have these big size mobile phones.
Yes.
So any person in Mufti who carries one of these mobile phones, when they approach you and say I'm national security, you have no choice but to accept that he's indeed a national security.
No, that is a wrong approach. You have to ask of his identity.
Okay, so they are supposed to exhibit the ID
yes,
card.
Yes, we keep it in our pockets.
Okay.
We don't put it on us.
But on daily basis, where are they supposed to be? How does the ordinary port user encounter a national security person? Where are you positioned? Are you positioned in particular places?
We have about 21 terminals in the port.
Okay.
Some are significant, and then some are not too significant, like clinker, where they take the clinker. It's only used by a few importers. But if you come to Golden Jubilee, they take over 100 to 200 containers a day.
That's a busy area.
Yes. Yeah. And so we deploy them at the terminals.
Okay.
So before you get there, and they are on the field too.
Okay.
Some are on the field trying to examine the items in the container, and some are at the gate, so that when you come with your goods, they look at your documentation and see whether you have paid your duties and pay port charges.
Okay, so they are the gates as well.
Yes.
Where they inspect that documents are sufficient or they are adequate before you can take your goods out of the port.
Yes.
But are they beyond the gate? Because there have been concerns that sometimes you drive all the way to, let's say that if you're coming using the beach road, the Community 3 area, you get to Junction Mall and somebody stops you and says I'm a national security. Some have complained that also all the way to motorway, there you meet somebody who says the person is a national security. Is that true? Are they supposed to be at such places?
No, we don't have people of national security origin stopping containers on the way. If you see such people, they are illegal people.
I see.
Yes.
Nobody should stop you beyond the port's confines.
No, unless they are on special operation. But if there's a special operation, as you know, we sometimes go and free containers from people who are not supposed to be there.
I see.
Yes.
But how do I, if I'm an importer and somebody stops me on the way in the middle of the road and says that he's national security, how would I know that this person is on a special duties assigned by you on the road?
Like I said, we haven't done such a thing.
Nobody has been assigned there so far.
Yes.
I see.
If you see, there are some people who go around saying that they are national security. They are not. And so, if you are an importer, you are taking your goods to your destination, and somebody stops you, and challenge the person and tell him that I want to go to a police station, and then call us at the port, will come to your rescue.
Is it not the reason why I asked my initial question that if there is a clear sign of identification? Now, in the past, we have taken on the military, the police, and all that to be displaying their name tags, for instance. Yeah. Now, here we are, the National Security Fellows, who are also working as a security agency. We can't have any identification, and I find it difficult to spot you and immediately say you are not. But before I realize you have already stopped me, and I'm now looking for a phone to call the police.
No, I demand for his ID card, and if it is true, and let him take him to the police station.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll leave that portion at this side, and then because we'll be dealing with some of the challenges one after the other. Okay. But there's a very important news item in the port, and about two of them that we would love to talk about. First, the diversion of the cargo, about 10 20-footer containers got missing in the port. Not, you know, I was told that it was being escorted from one private terminal to the Atlas terminal where it was being prepared for auctioning, and then that it got missing. We'll play that one pretty shortly, but before that, stowaway is also becoming a very difficult issue around the ports, and Colonel and his men have been dealing with this. A few of them occurred this week. Take a listen to them.
The Tema Port Security has in its custody a stowaway, Anthony Ali, who was disembarked from a Grimaldi vessel. According to the Tema Port Security Manager, Joseph Punamani, the Grimaldi vessel en route Belgium detected a stowaway who had described himself as half Ghanaian, half Togolese, and decided to disembark him at Ghana's port.
We are putting measures to stop people from boarding vessels here. So we want to warn our youth that they shouldn't even try it here. He boarded it from Togo. He got to wherever they still got him and brought him back.
The stowaway, a man in his 30s who described himself as a cobbler by profession, narrated that he boarded a vessel in the port of Lomé, Togo, with the initial intention of finding work on board the vessel, but he consequently clandestinely joined the voyage.
Oh, soldier, I am half Lomé, half Ghana.
Answer the question.
I am board the vessel in Lomé. This is where all the things have started.
You bought the vessel from Lomé?
All started because of work. This is all the things started because I need work. I'm a shoe sign.
It was at sea that he was detected and brought to Ghana, where the ship crew believed he comes from. According to an immigrations officer, Chief Superintendent Kolite Kwame Fosu, the stowaway will be handed over to the Togo embassy, who would ascertain if he is truly Togolese and then take charge of his transfer back to Togo, where any existing sanctions will apply to him.
If it is confirmed that he's a Togolese, what we will do is we will communicate with the Togolese authorities. So when we hand him over to the Togolese authorities, they will deal with him according to their national law.
The port security manager, Joseph Punamani, warned that Ghana's port security is very robust and doesn't give room for any such acts of stowaway.
The Tema District Court has sentenced a 27-year-old physically challenged man, Hakeem Mohammed, to 4 years imprisonment for stowaway offences. Hakeem Mohammed has also been fined 6,000 Ghana cedis, which, if he is unable to pay, will serve additional 2 years to the 4-year jail term.
Because he's not the first offender. He was sentenced on his own plea.
Hakeem, who was flown in from Namibia after stowing away through the port of Togo, was arraigned before the TDC court, where the sentence was handed him.
I think it's about 3rd or 4th times that he has attempted stowing away. In all cases, he is caught.
Hakeem, who has on several occasions been convicted of misdemeanor offences of stowaway, said he is married with a child and only embarked on the venture to see greener pastures.
Yes, so me to me can say me Korea. In the minimum quantity so I have also a geo the other feeling by force. Minimum quantity so I to me the country to a corrobo. And to me, I imagine say I come to an American, make to an air then I mean your boy for you, I come to a man so bad.
Hakeem recounted his previous experiences.
Me the Amaya actually say my phone Ghana and Blan, I say my coffin or port 20 or more Yamisano. No, I must say that I yes, I may say Ghana ID. Let me say, And yes, I say Ghana because me watch me Ghana you ja no wa otumi bo me Ghana din ja so nyu ebo me enti sami ame for se me ma ka pe bibi kakra bo hwe me da chi a eba ne se ne so me hu abaka omo nchen sa.
He also pleaded for public assistance to support himself.
Yanga sano me ni obia obetumi abo me ina me no kama fo bia enti amama madam fofo a me do me hu ko bo omo no.
Chief Superintendent Joseph Abebio advised that stowaway is a risky venture, hence the need for people who want to travel to Western countries do so through appropriate means.
If you want to travel, you have to travel by fair means. There are processes that anybody can take through to travel. You go for embassies, you get your documentation, and off you go. But if you want to hide behind vessels and all that, it is an offense.
The Marine, Ports and Railways Commander believes punishment to stowaway offences are gradually becoming stiffer enough to deter others from attempting to stow away. The Marine, Port and Railways Command of the Ghana Police is currently investigating circumstances surrounding the disappearance of some 10 20-footer containers of canned tomatoes from the port of Tema during a transfer process to gazette the consignment. The Marine, Port and Railways Police took over the assignment when the Tema Command of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority alerted the police on the disappearance of the containers, which were being escorted from the premises of the Tema Container Terminal TCT to the Atlas Terminal near the Tema Oil Refinery by officials of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority and national security operatives at the port on May 30, 2019, when the containers were allegedly diverted.
In the process of transferring the containers from TCT Terminal to Atlas, the escort officer did not do his work well, and as to what happened, the containers, instead of going to Atlas, disappeared.
We had a call from the port customs office that they have arrested 5 people who have diverted 10 20-footer containers.
The containers, which was being handled by CMA CGM shipping line, arrived at the port in September 2018 and were said to have overstayed, leading to the confiscation of its content by the state for onward processing and auctioning.
The containers were parked at the TCT terminal and are supposed to be sent to the Atlas terminal. Before they realized, the containers didn't reach the Atlas and have been diverted to unknown destinations.
The consignment was labeled Inshiractin tomatoes and placed on uncleared cargo list UCL after it had overstayed the clearance period by 261 days, for which reason a decision was taken to transfer the containers to the Atlas terminal for authentication and gazetting. This process was to enable the consignment to be auctioned to defray an import revenue of about 714,000 Ghana cedis. So far, all the containers have been identified by the police and custom. While the security team was able to retrieve some of the containers, the content of others had also already been sold.
The containers, we traced 5 to Kumasi and 5 in Accra. When we go to Kumasi, 4 of the containers had already been impounded by customs, leaving 1, which from the information that the customs gave us, have been sold out to customers.
Some officers of the Customs Division of the Ghana Revenue Authority, including the escort officer and national security, as well as those who bought some of the stolen goods, have been arrested pending investigations by the Marine Police Unit at the Tema Port.
The 5 people included a customs officer, Alfred Frimpong, a national security operative, David Ejapong, an agent called Alex Brackon, and then 2 women who are business women.
Customs has since instituted stringent measures, including the suspension of transfer of overstayed goods at the port and review of allocation and auctioning processes of overstayed goods.
Welcome back. So, Kenel, What's the stowaway situation in the port? It looks like you're recording quite a number, because only in this story, and that's only in this week, 2 situations.
The good news is that they are not leaving Ghana, leaving our ports.
They don't stow away through the port of Ghana?
Yes, they embark from other ports.
Okay, so these two were in Togo. They did in Togo.
They were in Togo. Yeah. Because our measures are very harsh. And, we make sure that we don't
entertain those
people. Okay. But you see, the problem we have here is a lot of people don't understand why somebody joins a ship and is going somewhere and they return him. When you board the ship illegally, the ship is somebody's ship. And there are sanctions for the ship owners when you disembark a stowaway in a country. A country like Brazil, you disembark a stowaway, you are fined about $30,000.
I see.
So
I see.
It's a difficult situation. So it's somebody's ship, and when you hide a board, you remember that you are going to enter somebody's country without documents. All these things are offenses.
It's like running to the airport to jump onto a flight and get into another country.
That's the situation. So we, in our part, we've made sure that through the ISPS code implementation, we make sure that our port is very safe, and we keep on improving our systems, including CCTV cameras, using dogs to rummage the vessels, keeping people at the gangway, and making sure that the ships are thoroughly searched before they depart our shores.
So from the ports in Ghana, these are not, you recorded very minimal situations.
Or none.
Oh, I see.
But when people leave other countries and go,
they still bring them to Ghana?
To Ghana, which I don't understand, because
but the guy's a Ghanaian. If he's a Ghanaian, they will bring it back to Ghana.
That's the issue.
Yeah. If you take the gentleman, and I don't know what you will tell other young people out there and other people out there, if you take the gentleman who managed to get to Namibia, for instance, and was returned, this is his 5th time. And he claims that, you know, he's a baba, he doesn't get any job to do, he's also physically challenged. What's motivating people, and what are some of the dangers in undertaking such ventures?
See, what is motivating them is that previously people have succeeded in doing so.
Okay.
So those people are out there
sending them pictures, arbitrary and all of that.
So that is what is motivating them. But the situation as it is now is that systems have improved. I always wonder, if you get into a port in like Europe, how you even get out of the port. Because ID cards, the system is such that you'll be seen and be brought back. So when you start, you go and come back.
Hit the wall and return.
Come back. So I don't see why people are still doing this. And if you look at the caliber of people who are doing the stowaway, they are the people who are less educationally challenged. So they don't understand. They just think if you join. And one thing is the treatment they give them.
On board.
Like this physically challenged person was bragging that when they were bringing him back, he was treated well. he flew from airport to airport
and all of that.
So, well, he wanted to see how the air is, how to fly, and how to enjoy.
But unfortunately, he's getting 4 years, and it looks like gradually the punishment for stowaway is getting stiffer, because it used to be quite mild, and you know, because it's misdemeanor, they take it for granted and just give you some fines, 500 Ghana, 1,000 Ghana. But if people are getting 4 years for attempting to stow away, that's dangerous.
It's dangerous. You see, this particular guy, this is not the first time.
Yeah, 5 times.
Yes. So I think they considered that.
Yeah.
But the people out there should know that it's a very serious thing. The international body takes stowaway as a very serious issue, looking back at what happened 11/11. So people would like to enter those countries illegally to commit offenses and get away with it. So they see stowaway as a very serious issue.
let me announce that you can call us at 6:50 on the following number, 020552835. It should be on your screen, 020552835. And then you can also send a WhatsApp, 02086636161. Send a WhatsApp, 02086636161. Today,
yes.
The issue of stowaway. Is your outfit bothered about this at all? Yours is just...
Oh, yeah, we are bothered.
Okay.
Because it can cause a lot of... some stowaways can be terrorists.
Yeah.
And it also increases the population.
Okay.
You know. So therefore, it's like illegal immigrants.
And yes. How is your outfit working towards that direction?
Anytime we get them, we also go on board. Sometimes we patrol with the Marine Police and the GPHA.
Okay. So you join them to patrol?
Yes. Okay. We have a patrol team. So when we get them, we hand them to the police to do, or immigration to do their work.
Okay.
Our work stops there.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll talk, Colonel, we'll talk about piracy for you at some point, but there's a quick message from Ohima in Tema who says that kindly let the Port Security Manager know that his men at Golden Jubilee still request to see agents before allowing trucks to exit the port, despite the way bill. Is that true?
Well, it has not come to my notice. So
but are they supposed to do that?
They are not supposed to do that. They are supposed
to see agents before they allow them, even though they've seen the way bill.
No, they are not supposed to do that.
Okay.
But you see, a lot of containers get out of the port. And we are to make sure that every way bill is properly checked. So if somebody goes ahead to make sure that he makes sure that those people involved are... But I don't think they should be doing that. And it has come to our notice, we advise them. These are men we are operating with different characters. So
yeah, because Ohima, for instance, is worried that encourages or it motivates them to extort monies from the agents, because once you call the agent to come closer, then you have somebody to say, okay, give me something or give me something like that.
Your papers are correct. You don't give anybody anything.
So they are not supposed to pay anything to anybody at the gate?
No.
None of your officers?
No. When we don't handle money, we make sure that we check the way bills to make sure that it's correct. Then the trucks are allowed to go. And we do all this with other security agencies so that when you are overlooking, somebody can prompt you. But I don't think it's appropriate to say you want to see the agent before. See him for what? That is where the problem is. Right. And I know they are watching, so we advise them as appropriate.
Okay. Mr. Tete, there's another one from Ohima that says that your inspection, being part of the inspection and saying that you are now 3, is surprising, because a lot of people had thought that it was Ghana Standards Authority, Food and Drugs Authority, and Customs. Do you think this inspection team, and I remember the Vice President saying that it's been reduced to 3. Later, then National Security was brought on board. Is the directive clear to you? Are you supposed to be 4? You're supposed to be 3? Is it clear? When was this communicated?
Oh, initially we were 3. So if
who and who?
FG, Customs, and us.
And National Security from the beginning?
Yes. Oh no, from the beginning we were not added.
Who were from the beginning?
I think Standard Board, FD, and Customs also.
Okay, so these 3 started.
Yeah.
And then you were brought on. National Security was brought on.
Yes.
And then who was taken off? GSA?
I think so.
You're sure, or you think so? Because
I think so.
Once you are not even sure, then the people will be confused.
No, because they know who and who are to do the inspection.
And that is who and who?
I'm saying National Security, Customs, and FDA.
Okay.
Yes.
So GSA is not part of it now?
I think they've been added to it.
So you're supposed to be 4?
Yes, okay.
Okay. What we will also do is we just get a bit of background checks, and I know that a couple of the men from the EMT watch this, as well as a lot of other folks within the port community would need that clarification as far as the inspection team is concerned. We know the earlier announcement from the Vice President was supposed to be GSA, FDA, and Customs, and then later National Security was added. Whether any of them had been taken out or not, that's still not clear. The reason this is important is that a lot of people complained the last time about inspection as to who inspects what, who should come and inspect, and all of that is part of the delay. So these are the 4 agencies that are not too clear when it comes to the inspection, and I'm sure that it will be good if we get that clarity on that. Let's take a look at the story that was played about diversion of cargo.
Okay.
Mr. Tete, I know that you have made quite a lot of moves around this area. Sometime back you called me quite early. It was about 5 containers that had been diverted and you picked them up. Yeah. How do you see this issue of diversion, and what is national security doing about it? Because if you are taking intelligence from the beginning, we don't even want to see the attempt in the first place for you to go and arrest. What if the others run away with it?
It's just unfortunate, but this business of diversion and smuggling of containers in the port is a syndicate. Let me talk on the last week or last 2 weeks issue. Anytime UCL containers will be moved from one terminal to the other, the letter is originated by customs.
You mean anytime we are moving an uncleared cargo?
Yes.
An uncleared cargo is a cargo that has stayed in the port beyond its limits.
Yes.
And you are moving it from the private container terminal to the Atlas, where we keep those
the
UCLs.
Government bonded out.
Customs is supposed to issue a letter to you.
Yes, it started by the officer in charge of bonded government house. Now, this letter, a copy is given to me.
Okay. Written from customs, a copy is given to you?
Yes, a copy comes to my office, and I minute it to the terminal supervisors for them to provide escort. This particular one, which is a mysterious transaction. So when they are mentioning national security, I just get a little bit worried because we've chalked a lot of sources for customs.
So emphasize on this particular one. What happened?
That's the story. This particular transaction,
did you get
they never, because I forgot that this issue will pan out, so I didn't bring the document. They've left out our name.
National security?
Yes.
So the letter that emanated from customs did not copy you?
No.
I see.
So
meanwhile, in the past, the practice has been that
every time if you come to my office, you see copy, and
but
then
customs this time they
didn't
copy you.
You see, that's the most annoying thing. Then they gave the letter to the agent, and he was picking it from terminal to terminal to do their rounds. So he took that letter to TCT.
The letter from customs?
Yes.
Who else was copied in this letter? Do you know?
They copied only 2 people.
Who and who?
Because he's even supposed to go to his office.
And Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, did you get a copy?
I didn't get
You didn't get a copy.
Customs handled this by themselves?
So let me continue with the story.
Please do.
So they took the paper to TCT and they did what they had to do. But you see, we have a control measure at the terminal where anything you take from the terminal from that place to another place, we record them. We record them in our books. So in this case, they recorded them and then they stamped it that these containers have been duly inspected, their numbers have been certified. That is why they are saying national security is part of this transaction. When they finished, they gave the delivery note and everything to the preventive officer to escort it to State Warehouse at Atlas.
Okay, without your officer?
Without our officer. He never went with him.
But one of your officers, as part of those who have been arrested, one of your men is...
Yes, because they suspected that he should have been part of the escort and he didn't go.
I see.
Yes.
They expected him to be part. Let me say that Frederick from is it a Shaman? It's on the line, but just a second, Fred, you have to hold on a little bit. Let me just get this clear.
Yes.
They suspected that your national security officer should have been part of the escort.
Part of the escort.
But he wasn't part.
He didn't go.
But still, he has been arrested.
Yes. Because
so who escorted this container?
The preventive officer. He went there alone.
The custom preventive officer.
Because he has the documents with him, the delivery notes and everything. And he decided to give it to the agents, and the agents took the containers away.
And here they were transferring this UCL cargo from TCT to Atlas.
To be worked on.
And TCT is a private terminal.
Yes.
It's not a port and Harbours Authority. No.
But they take care of UCL containers.
Okay. And this escort process happened without the knowledge of national security and that of port security.
It doesn't pass through.
So even the escort, where you are not part.
We are not part.
Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority is not part of the escort.
So
if in the process of the escort, something happens to the container, you put it doesn't even come.
We don't.
So it's supposed to be you and customs. And we will ask, where is the container? And you are saying that you were not part of the escort.
He didn't take part. They didn't.
Your officer did not.
Did not take part.
I see.
So he gave the delivery note to the custom officer. Let me tell you something. There are strange things which happen, but I don't want to lay brains. Look, when transit goods are going to Togo or Burkina Faso, we put tracking device on them.
Yeah.
Can you believe that the tracking device will be going and the goods are in Mokola?
Why? And the goods are in Mokola.
The escort officer will put in his pack bag, behind his pack bag, and be on a different track.
And who is this escort officer?
No, I'm saying the escort officer mostly is customs.
Mostly? Are there times that other agencies join?
Well, I say mostly.
So in almost all the times that you know, it's supposed to be a custom officer escorting the...
Yes, and you find the electronic device showing on our screen. We have screens in our office.
That is going to Burkina.
Burkina.
Yet the cargo is
in Accra. You understand?
And what have you been doing about this?
So
national security, you pick this intelligence.
No, we pick,
what do you do with it?
And we arrest them. We've also been doing it, just that we don't talk. We don't.
I know. I dragged you here, but in times like this, it's very important because a very important issue such as diversion of cargo, state is losing a lot of revenue, and we don't know where it's coming from. We need to point the holes and be able to know where the challenge is.
You are a witness of some of these things I've done in the port, arresting, diversion.
I'll come to you.
But you see, let's speak the truth.
Please go ahead.
If the one who is supposed to escort the container to the place and took delivery, took the documents, and he decides to give the documents to the agent to divert.
I see.
Then the person who did that, he should be held responsible.
So you are saying that, and by inference, you are saying that the custom officer, preventive officer, who escorted this particular cargo, gave the documents back to the agents to run away with the cargo.
Run away with it. Our boys never joined them to where they were going.
Is this custom officer in custody? Has he been apprehended?
Yeah, he was also arrested.
Okay, let me take Francis from Trasacco and then I'll come back to continue this. Francis. Okay, we dropped that line, so we go ahead. But there have been other times that diversions have taken place. The last time that about 7 containers, for instance, got missing, were moving. The news was that it was moving from the warehouse. At that point, who escorts that? Who ensures that the thing moves, you know, and goes to where it's supposed to go and all of that?
You see, they have escort officers. Customs have escort officers. And they are more, or they are authority on escorts, okay? So when...
Not to rudely cut you, because we haven't been picking our lines. There are a lot of them on the line. Humphrey from Ashaman, good evening. Hello, Humphrey. Humphrey, can you reduce the volume on your set and speak up?
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Good evening, go ahead.
Okay, please, I need some clarification from the security manager.
Go ahead.
From the text someone sent from Tema, you realize that there was a complaint that the security people at the gate always request for the agent, and the officer responded. I want to know, I think that once the agent started the process, he or she is supposed to complete it. So getting to the exit and the agent is nowhere to be found, and we feel that it's not necessary that the agent comes to the exit. I don't know if we can clarify that so that we will also know what is going on, please.
Okay, so the agent starts the entire process at the gate where the goods are exiting the port. He's asking, don't you think the agent's presence is required there?
Well, his presence is required, but what we're talking about is seeing the agent.
Yes, but if his presence is required, then you need to see him.
That could be like standing aside to see the agent. But if the agent comes with his goods to pass, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, but can the driver taking the cargo go by himself outside?
We are not talking about diversion or stolen containers. So it's probably additional action that the security are doing that to see the agent. But people are misconstruing to mean that extortion. But what I'm saying is that at the gate, if you, these are my goods and you pass, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, because you said that that's not supposed to be done. So if this is an additional measure that you are instituting, I'm sure people will be happy to hear that because of diversion and all of that, you want to see whoever is leading the cargo out, for which reason you are requesting the presence of the agent. Otherwise, if they are not supposed to be there, then you make it clear that they are not supposed to be there. Then people know that I'm not supposed to see an agent there.
If the documents are correct, I don't think...
The driver can go alone.
If the way bill is to clear the vehicle. So if the vehicle is released per document, I don't see the necessary need for the agent to be there. Except there are question marks, then they can look for the agent to ask questions.
Okay. Francis is calling from Trasaco. Francis. Hello? Francis. Okay. So on that one, are you saying that your people can still invite?
Sir.
Yes, Francis, can you hear me?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening, sir.
Francis, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
I'm online.
Yes, go ahead.
Good evening. Yes, sir. Okay. In fact, I'm very disappointed with the man just behind you. Hello?
Which of them? Please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead. Okay, so Frank, can we get him off and then let's continue. Once you call, kindly turn down the volume on your set, get straight to the point, and let's deal with the issues, please. Go ahead. So I wanted to check that, is it okay to have your men dealing with the agents at the gate?
It's not mandatory. Okay. So far as the
way bill is ready.
Way bill is correct.
Correct.
It's not mandatory. But as additional check to make sure that containers don't get lost. If there's the need or there's question mark, they can ask for the agent. But what I'm against is seeing the agent. You know, in Ghana when I say seeing is, you know what it means.
They can be there, and you can make it that as part of your measures, you want them to be there. But the bit of extortion is not allowed. Is that
not allowed?
Because it looks like that's where the problem is.
That's where the problem
when
is.
they come in contact with the agents, then they can extort. But I'm even wondering whether they can't extort from the drivers. That is, if extortion is allowed.
Yes, because if the documents are correct, why do you give money?
Okay. Ajiman from Tema. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Hello? Yes, you are, please. Okay. So if there's a challenge, Jones, let's get that fixed and then so that we don't end up losing all the... Yes, sir. So this bit, it's very important. Is it that there's a problem with extortion around the gate?
Well, that's what others are alleging, but I don't see it as true. But the question is whether the agent is required at the gate or not. It's not mandatory. If the documents are correct, it's not mandatory. But if there's question mark and they need clarification, there is the agent who has to answer.
Okay.
Can I talk?
Yes, go ahead.
You see, the idea of missing containers needs a rigorous check, because it could happen that somebody has taken the vehicle to the yard and put a container on it and he's passing. And before you realize, he's taking it out.
No, I don't get that scenario.
No, I'm saying that it could happen that somebody will have taken the container from outside and from inside without documentation.
Okay.
So
that's possible?
Yeah, but this is what we are talking. We are just talking. I'm surprised that some people can take 10 containers out of this port. And look at the system they have used. You know, when they have a preventive officer escorting with a delivery note in his hands, and then 10 containers on trucks. You can imagine the length, and they've been able to take this thing out. So checking at every point is very, very crucial. It's very crucial.
Okay.
And,
Let me take Terry's...
I'm happy that, and from tomorrow, we are not going to accept any UCL container to be moved from a place to another place.
I think Customs has also come out with that measure. I was going to ask you the sort of measures we can put in place to deal with it. Yes. But let me take Terry from Ashaman. Terry. Hello, Terry. Hello, Terry. Okay. Can't get through.
Hello?
Yes, hello. Terry, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Please go ahead and make your point.
Hello? Okay, please. Yeah, I can hear you. And please, the man in the uniform, it seems he's from Ghana Port and Harbour. Yeah, what is Mr. Points, he always says that if your documents are correct, you don't need to pay any money, or you don't need to give any money. So does it mean that your documents are not correct, you have to pay money to someone? Because I've observed from the beginning, and then anytime he's trying to make a point, he will say that when your documents are correct, you don't have to see an agent, you don't have to pay any money. So I want to ask, if your money or the documents are not correct, you have to pay money to someone.
Okay. Thank you, Terry. So, Kenel, and is it also possible that your document would not even be correct?
Yes, there are instances that a document will not match the vehicle that is even taking it.
Okay.
But what I said, that if your documents are not correct, you don't need, if you are genuine, you don't need to give money. I don't mean that if you are not genuine, you should give money
and get away with
no, I don't mean that one. Because the port itself, to say containers are missing from the port itself is difficult, because we track all the containers and we know those who are at the gate. So if a missing container, we will just guess who has. The problem comes when it is a transit container and it gets out of the port. Yeah. That's where the problem comes from, and that one is beyond our means. That is where the escorts and that's where even national security, at times, some people will use their own discretion and even cross a container to go and check. The one we were talking about.
Yeah. Henry is calling from Labadi. Henry, are you on the line? Good evening. Hello, Henry. Do we have Henry? Okay. Do we have Henry? Yes, hello, Henry. Yes, we can hear you, please.
Hello.
Hello, Henry, we can hear you.
Good evening.
Good evening. Okay. Henry, hello, Henry, can you hear me? Okay, so we can get him off and then continue.
So like I was saying, within the port itself, containers don't get missing. It is when the containers are meant for transit. So after we check wheel bills and everything, and you allow them out, some people have to ensure that they go to where they are supposed to go. And that is where most of the problem comes from.
So often it's between the UCL terminal to Atlas. Is that what you're trying to
That's what I'm saying, because I've not...
Or when it's going to the transit countries as well?
Yes, when it's going to the transit countries, in between.
And that's also because
we have
when it's meant for the transit countries, they don't pay duty. So people use the name of the thing going to the transit countries.
Motivate them to
divert.
So for the container to get missing from the port, it is perception. But those for transit is what has been giving us the problems. That's why we are trying all means. National security is trying, and people are still...
But from your experience, what do you think can be done? That somebody has come and declared that I have brought in a container full of laptops. They are meant for Mali. And then you put a tracking device by it. The container is supposed to go to Mali. Somebody removes that tracking device, puts it at the back of an Okada car, bicycle, send it straight to Mali for you to think that the thing has really gone to Mali because you are tracking it. Yet the container itself lands in somewhere around Tiptoe Lane.
So I think they should improve on that technology. The devices...
The tracking devices.
Yes, they should find a way. There should be a way out. Because these ones are a bit bulky and they can easily be removed. We are in a modern way, times now, and there are better devices that can be used.
I'll ask National Security, but let me pick another call on the line. Who do we have? Babana from Tema. Hello, good evening, Babana.
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes.
Hello, good evening. I can hear you.
Good evening, Babana. We can hear you. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Boss, please, the problem is that it's not that maybe agents want to pay money, but even for them to go on and do their own mandatory work, when they finish with the work, they expect something from you, the agent. You have to pay them for their service. That's what we should deal with. Not that maybe the agent, because the document is not good and he wants to give money to them. But for them to carry on with their duty, maybe checking the container itself, after that they will tell you, what do you have for it? So they even demand money for their work that they have to do.
Who demands this money? Babana, you said who demands the money? Hello, Babana.
Hello.
You are saying that who demands the money? Who does that?
Is the national security and the rest.
I see.
The work that they have to do, they will... Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead and land quickly, please.
Yes. The work that they have to do,
okay,
that the government pay them, they will demand money from you, the agent.
I see. Mr. Tete, he says that the work that some of your men are supposed to do for country without charge because they are being paid for it, they still ask for monies from you.
What is in the container that demands money?
No, they say your men demand the money.
I'm asking a question.
That what is in the container?
Because some...
Doesn't matter what's in the container. If the person is asking for money,
so if you don't have any problem, stand on your ground, say that I won't pay. If you have nothing in your container, and for that...
They say they will frustrate you.
How will they frustrate you?
Stay there. Let me check
this.
No,
it's never true.
And you too, you are in hurry, so you drop and you go.
No, it's never true. You see, the work in the port is so delicate and complex.
Yeah.
Somebody brings his container, like personal effects. They have stuffed the thing with so many things. Even within the container itself, they have brought goods in commercial quantities. And so when you are asked to offload everything and put it down for them to check whether they are personal effects or not. Then you decide to convince the person who is there that you give him money. And I'm saying that if such a person demands money, come to my office and report.
Okay.
We'll sanction him.
Have you been sanctioning some? Have you?
Yes.
Have some come to your notice and you've punished them?
This container which they say diversion. Say our boy, he closed and went home. And I asked my operation director to go and bring him to the police station. And he was also locked in addition to these people, so that they can prove evidence that he is part of the diversion thing. So far, the what statement they have taken, nobody has implicated him that we went with him and he is part of the
Let me, I think Edu Jemfi is calling from Takrady. I'll come back to you real quick. Do we have Edu Jemfi on the line still from Takrady? Okay, so there's another one for you. This one.
Hello?
Hello, Edu Jemfi.
Yes, sir.
Yes, go ahead and speak, please.
Hello?
Hello, good evening. Hello? Okay,
yes,
so
sir.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I am just trying to tell the military man that he has been a disappointed man for me.
Go ahead, your reason, and please do it snappy.
Sorry?
Go ahead, please speak up and do it very quickly because others are also on the line.
Yes, he knows where the how's it called, where the container passes, and he cannot tell anybody. Even if he's not in charge, he can report.
But how can he know whether?
Why does he want to wait for national security? National security is under him. They came and met him.
No,
so
you are saying that he knows where the containers pass. How does he know that?
Thank you.
Okay. So those are the things. The purpose of this whole business is to identify the issues and see where we can all resolve and find solutions going forward. So try as much as possible, help country identify the problem, help us solve it. Just don't make sweeping statements without any substance actually. Let me say that this one says, and he's talking about the stowaway, she's not too happy about the sentence. He says, "Dear Iron Port, I'd like to appeal through your medium that stowaways should be given a community sentencing rather than prison confinement. How can an energetic young man willing to travel abroad and work be kept to waste in room for 4 years whilst our cities are dirty, begging for cleaning?" Again, it's coming from Ohima in Tema. The national security man should stop throwing dust in our eyes. How can national security who have no devices and are not connected to GEMIS, that's the Joint Inspection Management Information System, detect under declaration better than customs examination and customs preventive? And then there's another one, GPHS security. Okay. They say they have videos and evidences that they would make available to you of some people who extort and all of that from your various divisions. So I'm sure that we should be expecting some of these things come to your unit. But Mr. Tete, we were on you before we picked up that. Addressing the issue head on, how do we deal with these diversion issues?
Before that, somebody just said we are not on GMX.
Are you on?
Our monitoring, we have a monitoring unit in the port. You know that?
Yes.
They are on GMX. And if we don't have it, we can detect it through physical examination. Because when we do complete full examination, we check one by one. And we have arrested people who have misdescribed. We have arrested people who have put used clothing in front of a 40-footer container. Behind it is new textiles. We've arrested people, and when we get them, we let them go and pay what we call short collection several times. And therefore, the idea that we don't have GCMS, we cannot do it.
Okay. Let me take Daniel from Accra, and that should be our last caller for this evening, and then I'll take a few WhatsApps. Daniel, good evening.
Hello.
Yes, Daniel. Yes, good evening. Please go ahead and do it quickly. Daniel, can you position yourself better because you're not too clear?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, it sounds better, please.
Yeah. If you have genuine documents, then there's no need to pay them. The fact is that if you pick up.
Your line is still not too clear, Daniel. I'm sure you would have to position yourself better. Or you may better still send us a text message 020-866-3161 and we will still read that one. That's supposed to be on WhatsApp. And on WhatsApp, there's one that says, please tell the man that the GPS padlock. Now, is it possible to put the GPS in the container hidden? Is it possible? Talking about the tracking devices.
Is it possible to put it inside?
Yes. Hide it somewhere in there. The container is not yours. The truck is not yours. So wherever you hide it, the driver or the owner knows the car better than you.
Anything which is not consumed in this country, the containers are not examined. And so if you open it, they are
seals.
They are seals.
Yeah.
You cannot open it in Ghana.
Yeah.
It's only their pointed destination where you can open it.
Okay, there's another one for you. It says, it's true, the national security always insists on some money when your documents are correct. Is that true? That's coming from Godwin.
Well, not to my knowledge.
Okay. Yes. But when you hear things like this, how do you plan dealing with it? Because it's the image of your folks, isn't it?
Well, you see, I get disturbed because I think my team and myself have done our best. But human beings, be what we are, certain things like this might be happening at our blind side, like my colleague Kenneth has said. And so if you have a testimony of all those, you come to our office. I've challenged people. They say they have video, they should bring it. There was a time when there was a news item, very forceful news item on one of the radio stations that they took a video of a man who was sitting and he's supposed to be me. But where their examination and I'm demanding for 50 million. So we took the picture, went to the radio station, we were able to get the people arrested in Temaport. They are in court now.
I see.
And it was impersonation. So
it was a different person.
Different person. You understand? So these things, the work we do, these are occupational hazards. And it might be somebody who is doing it in our name, or it might not be. So for me, the issue is that anybody who has evidence should come forward. Yes.
Let's deal with the diversion.
Okay.
How do you think this issue of stolen or diverted goods can be dealt with? If the tracking devices are now more or less from what you are indicating, not helping at all.
You see, these UCL containers, national security has no control over it. Letters come to my office that this group of containers are being transferred from here to here. And I don't have to impede the work of customs. So the only thing I can do is to get our people informed where from and then to. That this container is being moved to this from your end to the other end. That is when our office is fed with those letters. But this particular diversion, they didn't copy us. Okay? They didn't copy us. But it went to TCT where we have our boys there. So for, I would say, negligence.
But what did your boys also do when they realized that the containers were being moved, yet they had no letter allowing those
No, they showed them the letter. They showed them a letter.
You had not
no, I'm
issued
not
a letter to
no,
them.
because I mean it always that.
So they should have drawn your attention.
That is where the problem.
So they were also negligent to
yes,
the folks there.
Yes, and that is why I was so much annoyed that they should lock the guy.
So they've locked them.
Yeah, he was locked. That is the name the superintendent is talking about.
Okay.
Because normally when certain he calls me. He will always call me and say that, Chief, they brought a letter here without your signature or without any minute. But this particular one,
do you think sometimes your folks are compromised, national security?
No, because they know if I get you, you will not go like that.
How do you recruit them? What sort of training do they go through? Are they ex-security officers or they are...
Some are ex.
Okay.
Yeah, some are like you.
Ordinary man, just walking about.
Yes.
But do you take them through some training?
Yes.
Okay.
We take them training.
So they all have security background, sort of security training?
No.
Like the post security people are trained by the military?
No. Like I said, they are like you. But we have ex-military officers who are WOs. They are in charge of the terminals.
Because I'm wondering how you guarantee their loyalty to country and then also to your office. How are you able to show that these fellows that I have deployed here really will be loyal, they will be responsible, and they will be duty-bound?
If you cause any infraction.
Do you have to wait for the infraction to be caused before you...
But if the person haven't done anything, why do you...
but you take ordinary man, you want him to steal plenty before you catch him.
No. But a thief is one who is caught. If a person is not caught, it's not a thief.
Until there is a national security.
No.
Until he's caught, he's a national security.
Yes, until he's caught.
Okay.
Yes. So for me, the UCL containers, the way they are handling it in the port, something drastic has to be done.
And
so
that thing is what?
That
something drastic must be done.
Yes.
Is what? What do you suggest it should be?
What should be done is that there should be coordination. Okay? Like if the customs generate their transfer list, it comes to my office, the security manager's office, and then I inform my members at the terminal that this is things coming. Follow it to where it will be left.
Okay. I will let Kennel have the last bite. Kennel, what would you have to say to the people? Kennel's unit, they don't even supposed to receive letters. They are not supposed to be copied. The letters from customs, right?
Some of the letters, containers going to UCL, they give us, because those that will leave the port,
okay,
they give us a minute to allow the gate.
But you're not part of the escort, no?
We are not part of the escort.
So the gentleman who was worried that you know where the containers are, he doesn't have any.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
But sometimes it's,
some people are like that.
Unfortunate. For me, it's just unfortunate because, you see, I've been very particular about transfers.
We'll deal with, I know how you're passionate about this, but unfortunately time is not on our side. We'll deal with the issue of diversion deeper again, because today we decided to just highlight your roles and all of that. Kenneth, you have the last bite. What would you have to say to the port users who regularly visit the port and interface with your men?
Yes, all port users have to abide by the regulations in the port. You have to have your identity to make sure that you are entitled to enter the port. And for us to be safe, be mindful of vehicular movement. A lot of trucks are moving, so if you are not careful, so that we avoid accidents. Okay. Because human life matters so much. Okay. And if there is any malfeasance, don't keep it and be attacking people when they sit here. Bring it to our notice and we'll deal with them, because we are not everywhere. Most of the things could happen in our at the blind side of our. This is so advised that everybody should help us to build a nation.
Okay, so I'm going to pick. we'll take some few international news, and then the schedules of vessels that are in the port, those that are anchoring, those also expected in the coming week, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rates that you need to know to clear your goods out of the port. We'll pick that next.
Here's innovation from GOIL that takes you further. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes have been expertly crafted with the latest in liquid engineering technology, highly advanced for modern engines, prolongs oil change intervals, save you fuel, clean, protect, and enhance engine performance. The way engines work has become complex, and GOIL has innovated to stay ahead. Expertly crafted lubricants that work excellently with all petrol and diesel engines of today. New GOIL Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 lubes. Innovation that takes you further.
GOIL, good energy.
Dear valued client, the Ghana Trade Hub mobile app is now live to make it easy to track your consignment and know the estimated duty payable for both general goods and used vehicles. We are pleased to inform you that the Ghana Trade Hub mobile app is available for download on Google Play Store for Android users and the App Store for Apple users. This is the best opportunity for all importers and exporters to know the duty payable on every good under transaction. You can reach the team for inquiries and support by calling +233 242 435 663. Send an email to support@ghanastradinghub.com. To remain updated, kindly follow progress on the following platforms: www.facebook.com/Ghana Trade Hub, www.twitter.com/Ghana Trade Hub, and ghlinkedin.com/in/Ghana Trade Hub. Importers and exporters can download the official Ghana Single Window mobile app, which allows you to track your consignment conveniently and also allows you to obtain your estimated duty for general goods and used vehicles. Please spread the message to everyone importing or exporting. The Ghana Trading Hub mobile app is now live. Download and never be cheated. This is powered by the Smart Ports project under the auspices of the Government of Ghana and the Ghana Revenue Authority. Smart Port, improving Ghana's ease of doing business.
Utiliser les ports de Tema et de Takoradi, c'est avoir un traitement rapide et sécurisé de vos marchandises diverses en conteneurs, en sac ou en vrac, ainsi que tous vos véhicules en transit. Le Ghana a construit un parking bien pavé pour tous les véhicules en transit. Une nouvelle gare frigorifique pour le stockage de la marchandise congelée en transit. Avec un nouveau centre de traitement de données construit et la mise en œuvre efficace d'un guichet unique national qui permet aux données d'être accessibles par tous les intervenants, le traitement des dossiers dans les ports du Ghana est maintenant efficace et plus efficient. Utiliser les ports du Ghana, c'est profiter des systèmes de portes électroniques et d'exploitation des terminaux ainsi que de la réservation des navires en ligne, entraînant ainsi un parc de camions fiable pour un acheminement de vos marchandises dans les brefs délais avec un suivi satellitaire jusqu'à nos frontières.
Les femmes, à vous les honneurs.
Les ports de Tema et de Takoradi célèbrent la femme. Que les bienfaits de cette célébration apportent plus de bénédictions.
Welcome back from the break. International Port News next.
Israeli shipping company Zim managed to shrink its net loss in the first quarter of the year. According to the company's financial report, net loss was $24.3 million for the period ended March 31, 2019, compared to a net loss of $34.1 million in the first quarter of 2018. Zim president and CEO said the company continues to pursue its strategic goals, and the first quarter 2019 results reflect an improvement achieved against a backdrop of challenging market conditions. Japan's Kawasaki Kisen Kaisha K-Line has decided to reduce the pay of its executives from April 2019 as the shipping company is working towards improving its financial strength. As informed, K-Line's executive remuneration will be reduced over a period of 6 months by 10% as compared to 2018 fiscal year. The company said the reduction comes in order for K-Line to clarify its management stance towards the recovery of the company's business performance during 2019 fiscal year. For the fiscal year ended March 31, 2019, K-Line suffered a loss of about $1 billion. The fact that cruise ships are causing pollution in the port cities they visit is not a new one, but a recent study shows that ships operated by a single line emitted 10 times more sulfur oxides than all of Europe's 260 million cars in 2017. The study published by the European Federation for Transport and Environment said that Spain, Italy, Greece, France, and Norway are the most exposed countries to cruise ship air pollution in Europe. Among the major cruise ports, Barcelona, Palma Mallorca, and Venice are the most polluted. Analysis also revealed that even in sulfur emission control areas where the most stringent marine sulfur fuel standard is mandated, air pollution from cruise ships remains of great concern.
Okay, so that should be it for today. Quite a number of messages have coming. I'll just glance through this one. Please, the national security man want to cover the issue of their personnel demanding money after carrying out their mandatory work. It's become a norm that when they work for you, you need to give them some money. Even after giving them, they will tell you it's not enough and the rest should come before they release you. This one says, good evening, please. I just want to know if National Security get hold of the documents before the containers left or leave, I'm sure he wants to say. Then they should have held it once they were not occupied. Another one says that they want to find out if you are part of the inspection team, why do you still have to be at the gate, National Security, Mr. Tete?
Yeah, there have been several occasions when mistakenly people's containers have been exchanged. And so when they come, we have to make sure that anything that leaves the port are properly documented. So we keep a register of those. There was an instance when somebody's container mistakenly went to another place.
I see.
And it was our office that it was detected.
My brother, my friends from port should stop saying they don't demand money, whether you have correct documents. After all, the inspection, they will ask you to do something or something small, and all of these things have been coming from national security. And then there's another one. Ibrahim says, I like the man, the military man, Lieutenant Colonel Joseph Malik Punamani. Is he not the same guy who dealt with some terrorists, something like that? And I think he's doing a good job at the port. He needs to be commended. Arresting all these stowaway issues is protecting our integrity at the port. Folks, this is the point I ended. Thanks a lot, gentlemen, for coming to the studio. I'm sure that in the going forward, we'll have customs and national security dealing head-on with this issue of diversion, because it appears that they are the main agents, the main agencies when it comes to escorting and all of that. And some of these issues that are coming up out of the preliminary discussions, I'm sure we are taking note and we will bring them across and discuss them one after the other, from inspection to diversion and all of those issues. We appreciate you watching the program. See you same time next week.